3 months before your wedding, there is another payment due. So you will be getting a communications deadline sheet probably within the month, which I'll show you on a slide coming up as well. So that'll have your actual due date for that payment. But yeah, just keep that in mind that 3 months before there's going to be another 50% payment. And then final payment is three full weeks, so 15 business days before the wedding, okay? So food, and this will be different for every venue. So Steckley, Brantview, do I have Steckley couples? Do I have Brantview couples? Awesome. Who else? Cellar 52? Nobody from Cellar? What about Museum? I think we only have 2 museum couples this year anyway. So there's some of our venues that they have in their contracts that all of the food needs to come from your caterer. So you can't be bringing in food from other places. If you're private residence, there's a little bit more flexibility. So that being said, we do have a promise in our contract to you that we are going to serve you, fresh, safely prepared food held at proper temperatures by public health regulations and all that jazz. And we offer a large selection. We're more than willing to go off menu for you, accommodating dietary restrictions and allergies and special needs for food and stuff like that. So please don't hesitate if you have a guest with 10 crazy allergies to just let us know about that rather than worrying about, oh, well, now we need to pull in another caterer, now we need to order something from another restaurant. Not necessarily. Let us let you know, but most of the time we can accommodate for you. Okay. We also have a full service bakery that provides all kinds of cakes, pies, donuts, desserts, pretty much anything that you could want. We are a nut-free facility as much as possible, and so so if you choose to provide dessert from somewhere else, then all of those responsibilities surrounding those desserts would basically be released from your Little Mushroom catering staff, okay? So a digital wedding package will be sent to you via email before your wedding date. So this is something, again, that I'm gonna go over. Final menu decisions need to be made no later than 2 months. So if you're doing hors d'oeuvres for cocktail hour, we need to have those selected. If you've got different options for a plated meal, if you've got a carvery station and you still have to pick your 2 meats or salads and you still have to pick your 3 salads, we got to know all that kind of stuff about 2 months, like at the very latest, 2 months before your wedding, okay? So this is your communications deadline sheet. This is the first half. So you will be sent this, like I said, probably within the month, along with a couple of other forms. So this will obviously have your names at the top and the date of your wedding. Little explanation about why we send this out to you and why it's important to communicate with us. The date of your 50% payment will be in there. The date for your final menu selections will be in there, so you can write it right in your calendar or your day planner. And then your wedding package is what we call it, is due to us 16 business days before. So this will include your wedding information package, which we actually have done in like a Google form now. So most of it's multiple choice or short answer. So you can go through and just kind of click, click, click. A detailed floor plan and layout for ceremony and reception. You only have to do the ceremony if we're helping with the setup of that. So again, some venues will require it, some won't. Your SOP and PAL insurance, if applicable, which again I'll talk a little bit about in a moment. Your outside food waiver if applicable, and your plated meal sheet if you're having a plated dinner or a meal. And then once we have all that information, we update everything to make your invoice as accurate as possible based on that info. And then that's when we send you your invoice, and that's your final payments due, okay? So if you are having a plated meal, you will be sent a plated meal sheet template. It's going to look something like this. Obviously, it's going to go down, so you have lots and lots of tables underneath. But ideally, what we'd like to see is the name of the guest that's sitting at table 1, table 2, table 3, their meal choice, and then any allergies highlighted in red. So that should keep things fairly simple for you. And then that way, our chefs are always getting the same format laid out for them, and it just makes everything run a little bit smoother for plated. And then your online wedding form is going to look like this when you open it up, and you're going to go through a bunch of pages, and like I said, it's just going to be kind of click, 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 multiple choice or short answer. But that is what we need filled out about 3 weeks before the wedding, okay? And then after the wedding, if any additional service hours have to be tacked on because something ended up running really late, we actually had one couple whose transportation company didn't pick them up at all. So they were an hour late to their own ceremony, which of course pushed everything else back an hour, which of course meant that 10 extra staff had to work an extra hour, and so there was some extra service hours on their account. If you add any rentals or anything like that, kind of after our cutoff date, when you've already paid your final invoice, and then we have to tack things on. Basically anything additional, any damage to, some of the Little Mushroom property or anything like that, we do reserve a right to send another invoice afterwards. We hope that we don't need to. We try not to. And vice versa, if everything runs super smooth, which is always our hope, and our staff end up going home a couple hours early, or a bunch of staff can leave a half hour early, and that accumulates to some extra service hours that you've prepaid for, then we will also send you either a refund check or an e-transfer after the wedding in a refund for you, okay? So that's just explaining that for you. All right, so any questions about the main contract? Hopefully you had already read it, but if not, now it's explained.